All right. Um, so now what I'm going to be doing right now is to basically show you how to create your own user texture materials in 2020 design software version 12. Now, version 11 is a bit old, so this is version 12. And do not mind all these things up here. They're basically for, me, if you understand what I'm saying. All right. So if you opened your drawing in 2020, you've done all your kitchen design elevations and all that. So right now I am on this elevation. I can pull this down a little bit to have a wider screen. The procedure is one. You have to use, let me try to annotate, okay? So I can just list it one after the other. I can draw with this line. This is number one thing you do. Look for textures. You have to look for textures. That's one. Look for your own textures. All right. You have to look for websites where textures can easily be taken from. All right. Two, download them. Download your textures. Okay. That's the process. And three, if you have to modify, you can use Photoshop to crop your textures. All right. If you don't know how to use Photoshop, there are some textures that could work easily without Photoshop, and there are some that won't. Once you've done your Photoshop editing and all that, then you can bring it and then now use them in your final design. Okay. So there's a process to this. Let me just erase all of this and I will explain to you how to do this. There are several hundreds of websites where you can download texture images. Okay. All right. So back to where we were before. Now I'm going to share my screen again, which is this one here. There's a website here called, what's it called now? Backsplash.com. Okay. And in there, I found this Backsplash. So I just right clicked and save the image as. You save it on your file, on anywhere on your computer. That's the image downloaded there. It's located right here. Somewhere here, I created a folder called training. And once that is done, you can now right click this one. If you have Photoshop, you can use it to optimize that image and say, like open with Adobe Photoshop. If you don't have all of that, leave the text just the way it is. But one thing is important, you need to count though, is this. The texture, you have to look for these materials and the specifications of your textures or the backsplash. So this one says 0.39 by 12. So what is 0. That's the bull nose, but we're not dealing with the bull nose. So you have to go further down and then find out what each texture line is. That is, let me go back here to explain. Here, we're looking at what is the distance between here and here. All right. You need to know it. And then you need to also know the distance, the width between one of this one. If this is actually 6 inches, so the next one will be 6 inches. So you're looking at probably like 12 inches overall. All right. And each one might be 3 inches, for example. Just an example. So this tile backsplash is a 3 by 6. Okay. Now, so the purpose of this is to know how to scale these things very well when you're putting them into 2020 design. All right. Okay. So that is done. And then if you want to optimize in Photoshop, that's a different training entirely, which I can't tell you. It's a long process. Okay. So that's that one. Now let's keep this one somewhere. Let's see if we can keep it up there. Okay. Now this means if I want to modify this in Photoshop, all I have to do is to come to this side and crop it. I'll cut it to size, just like that. And I can make mine like half there And then, just look at the places where I'm cutting these things from, yeah? Somewhere here. And you can also grab this one, maybe if each line is 3, you understand? So we're looking at maximum height of 12 inches. So that means I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times 3 is 12. So I can make one tile to be here. And 4 by 3 is 12. If you can zoom in and bring this, put it in the middle. Put this one too right in the middle. So that half and half on this side can actually work easily. That's how to crop this guy, all right? And then this one too should be right in the middle. Put it right in the middle. And so once I crop this one, this is actually disturbing me. So once I crop this guy, all right? Oh, come on. I can close this one and crop this one now. So once I've cropped this image, I can test this image and see if it actually tiles very well. All right. All I need to do is to come here and under offsets and look at its offsets and see what it gives me. So if you look at the scale of this drawing at the bottom here, it's just basically, that's a long process. Just quickly check the scaling here. As you can see, the overlaps are very perfect. Horizontally and vertically, they're all good. So you don't have issues with this one. So once you've done with this one, you can actually just export this one, save it as a JPEG file into the same folder where you are, and you can rename it. Leave the name of the tile, and it depends on how you want it, But this code is very important. It's a black long slate subway tile. I could just name it like a 12 by 12, right? Thereabout. Yeah, 12 by 12. And that's what it is, all 3 by 12. 3 by 12. And you save that. So let's go away from this side and move into 2020 design. Now that you've created your own texture, create several of it, as much as you can. And I'm here. What you have to do next is to go to under this, the home tabs here, under items, then you use the surface tool. When you click on surface tool in 2020, it's going to ask you a few things. You have to draw what surface do you want to work on. So I want to work on this place. You draw a shape with your surface tool and snaps to the ends. Okay. From here to there, all the way that way, and then you end here. And then once you're done, you can right click. Okay. Now it's going to open up a dialog box. It's called the attributes for the surface. Here you can check the square meter of what you've just done. This is right here. The square meter of what I've just done. Under the square meter is here. Oops. Go to the items. Under the square meters, you'll find that the square feet of what I've done is 16.9 square feet. I'm using imperial feet, not meters. And the texture display is the default by 2020 is this one. Now I want to change this texture to my own as a user. So I'll click on this one. Once you click on that, a dialog box will open. Once it opens, so let me go back to the screen, go to the annotate tool and explain better. Okay. All right. So this here is the texture library that comes with 2020 design automatically. This right here is your own texture library that you will be creating now. So there's a difference between those two. All right. So now what I'm going to be doing, oops, I should go and erase that. Apologies. Yeah. Erase what I just did. This two, go back to this one. And that's it. So now, if I want to choose from 2020 application of backsplashes, under the catalogs, right, under the common file, these are all the things. I could go to different like tiles, generic tiles, 6 by 12, the matte materials. This is the textures that gives you the quality of sheen or shine. of the glossiness. If you want something satin finish, if it's going to be glossy finish, but they're all the same textures, but it's just the rendering finish that's going to be different. And if you're looking for porcelain tiles, you can actually come on the porcelain, click on the glossy. It gives you different ideas. But today, we will not be teaching on the textures in this that is default with 2020. Now, because I already started, let me close this again. Because I already started 2020 design, I've already created some textures already. So there should be some textures in this drawing. So if I go here now, for example, open it up again, you'll find out that in this design file, okay, that says training kit up there. If I click on textures in the current design, these are the textures in this current design that I created. Okay, so the good thing is once you create your own textures from the user texture library, it will store all your textures in two places. In the user texture library for future use in a different design, you could reach into this place, go and pick it up and use it again. But if you put it in this current design, is this one here shows the textures in this current design. So for the current backsplash, I used this one. That's the backsplash I used for this current design. I use this as my countertop for this current design. So if I check on this one, I could go here and that's the tiling, okay? It looks, it's seamless and it's good. Anytime you're searching for backsplashes or countertops or anything, make sure it's seamless. I cannot stress any better. It's called seamless. Seamless, okay? Textures. All right. So search under Google and look for seamless textures. Once you find them, you can download a lot of them. And use them here. And if it's not seamless, then you have to modify them in Photoshop or create your own textures using other texture creating softwares. So right now, I don't want to use anyone I've used before in this design. I want to create a new texture. So I will come to user texture here. Okay, it's going to take a little while. 2020, it depends on how complex or how much of load and detailed design jobs you're doing in 2020. But mine takes a little bit of time because I have too many things going on. So let's wait for this user texture library to open up. Once it opens up, then I'll show you how to create your own textures using that same textures, the texture we got, the black tile, which was 3 by 2. It should have been 3 by 6, not 3 by 12, because each tile should be 3 by 6. If you put it together, it becomes 3 by 12, and on and so on and so forth. Sorry, this is taking some time. I don't want to pause anything because I'm doing some other few things in the background. 2020 V12 on this side can be slow for one reason or the other that I cannot explain. Okay, so it's here now. So now these are all the textures I have created. A lot of them. I mean, there are too many of them. There's a ton of textures. I personally created them. Now, if you want to create your own texture, okay, this is how you do it. You go under this file here called Browse to add a texture with a file. When you click on this one here, this folder, it's going to ask you to try to locate that texture where you downloaded your original texture. I created mine here. Remember this one. So this actually should be 3 by 6, not the 3 by 12. Each tile is 3 by 6. All right. So I'm going to choose this one and say okay. Automatically it comes into this place. Now watch out for this few information on the right side. Okay. So it goes this way. The description. I already have it described. I have the text. Ooh, where did I put it? That's it right there. I'm sorry. I changed it while I was moving. Where was it? Ding, 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 ding. Okay, so you got to be careful where to find your textures. So I'm going to type 6 again because I know it's going to be 3 by 6. You have to look for it. So, yeah, that's it right there. So 3 by 6. So that's why I was able to find it, because I typed the letter 3, the number 3, I'm sorry. So you can describe it anything you like. The scale, this is how you scale it. What is the width between here and here? I'll say it's, because each one is 6, so I'll make it 12. And what is the height? The height cannot be, the height is supposed to be 12 inches. Now we're in trouble, because what I did was I made this 2, probably like 2 inches. So this is 2, 4, 6, 8. So it's probably 2 by 6, not 3 by 6. So I'll make this one 8 inches. And this might slightly increase the width a bit, but it's something you can neglect. But when you're creating your textures, make sure they're very precise so you don't make mistakes. All right, so the appearance, click on this button here. Yeah. And then it's going to, this is how you show the shine, the sheen, the texture of the final materials. You go to mineral, I want to make it like a ceramic backsplash and make it polished medium, and I'll make it like a satin finish, you know. You could do satin finish, you could use semi-gloss, but I'll do satin finish, comes out pretty good. And so you can test this on this side and see the tiling, okay, here. So it looks like it's going to come out very well. It's well overlapped and all that is good. So once I've done that, I'll just say okay and wait for it. And that's the new tile, okay? And once you're done, you say okay. Now, I'm going to go to the range wall on this side, create the same surface tool on this side, here to there, you know, snap on that end and do this one right here. I'll do this to the end and finish this here. So once that is done, you see the default comes back again. Now, this time around, I will click on this again. Now, this is where I was trying to tell you. This is a default from 2020. This is the user textures. Do not go to this place this time around. Stick to your textures in the current design. Remember, I've created a new texture and it's supposed to be in the current design. That's the new texture I just created. Select it again and say okay. Automatically it comes back here and you're good to go. So now, should we take a look at this, how it works in 3D rendering? All right, you can actually come to the bottom here. I'm trying to open my, I'm trying to open my camera. So this is the location of my camera right now. That's my camera right now. And let me close it up. So let me take a look at what this is going to look like in rendering. The black new tiles, backsplash I just created. Wait for it to come up. And there you go. Look at that. That's it. That's a new tile right there. And so that's how to make your own textures. Other things, you can actually finish this kitchen with anything you desire. But, you know, you could actually change the countertop to something more that has a bit of black finish just to make it look nice, you know. So that's how it works. And I hope this makes sense. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.